Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Language Lounge where we explore the beauty and power of words. This is Mohammed Jashim, and in today's episode, we are diving into a timeless question: why is reading poetry still so important? Many people think poetry is old fashioned or difficult, but poetry is not just about rhyming words or a complicated language. It's about emotion, rhythm, and imagination. It helps us see the world in a new way, using words that touch both the mind and the heart. Let's start with this. Poetry teaches us how to feel and think deeply. Unlike novels and essays, poetry condenses big ideas into a few lines. A poem can express joy, grief, love, or even protest with extraordinary power. For example, just a few words from William Wordsworth. My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. Capture the wonder of childhood that lives within us forever. When we read poetry, we learn to slow down. We begin to notice the sound of words, the rhythm of sentences, and the silence between them. It's like listening to music made of language. And in that moment, poetry helps us connect to ourselves, to others, and to the world. Poetry also builds language awareness and creativity, especially for students learning language. When you read a poem, you encounter vivid imagery, metaphors, and new expressions. These linguistic features expand your vocabulary and sharpen your ability to interpret meaning beyond literal meanings. Think about it. When Robert Frost says, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, he isn't only talking about a forest. He is describing the choice we make in everyday life. Poetry teaches us to see hidden meanings, to read between the lines, which is a valuable skill in both language learning and critical thinking. Moreover, poetry's rhythm make it memorable. Reading or reciting poems aloud improves pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. That's why language teachers often include poetry in speaking or listening practice. It trains the ear and strengthens emotional connections to the world. But beyond language and learning, poetry nurtures our empathy and emotional intelligence. In a world that often moves too fast, reading poetry helps us pause and reflect. It allows us to feel the experience of others, different cultures, generations, and perspectives. When we read Maya Angelou's Still I Rise or Rabindranath Tagore's Where the Mind is Without Fear, we don't just learn English, we learn courage, dignity, and hope. Poetry reminds us that even in our most private emotions, we are not alone. It connects the human spirit across time and language. So, why is reading poetry important? Because it refines our language, deepens our emotions, and strengthens our sense of humanity. Poetry helps us think critically, feel compassionately, and express ourselves beautifully. If you haven't read a poem lately, here's So, why is reading poetry important? Because it refines our language, deepens our emotions, and strengthens our sense of humanity. Poetry helps us think critically, feel compassionately, and express ourselves beautifully. If you haven't read a poem lately, here's my challenge. Find one short poem, maybe by Emily Dickinson, or Mr. Hughes, or Mr. Tagore, and read it slowly. Let the words breathe. You might be surprised by how much meaning can live inside a single verse. Thank you for tuning into the Language Lounge. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, share, or leave a comment about your favorite poem. Until next time, keep reading, keep feeling, keep finding poetry in everyday life. Bye bye.